What's up, 2K crew? Man, oh man, we're coming to you on Saturday. It's your boy Turbo, and as always, across the bar is Mr. 2K's. And yep, we're back to old boring us. We don't have any special guests or anything cool like that. But yeah, I was really happy with the way the episode went. I was really happy with the quality of the phone calls. So yeah, that's going to open up avenues for us left and right to get some more folks in, get them in your ears, and you just have to wait and find out, see where we go next. But before we jump into all of this, there were some folks that did do what I asked and went and subscribed to the YouTube channel. So we want to give them a big shout out. Mr. Slime Wrangler. Man, words are fucking hard today. Mr. Brian Hudson and Mr. or Mrs. Green Kool-Aid 22. So quite some interesting names. I love it. And oh my gosh, we're watching Michigan's defense just demolish Iowa's offense, and that's pretty much been the whole story of the game so far. Mm-hmm. I mean, instead of Michigan fumbling on their first on their first possession, Iowa decided to do it and gave Michigan excellent field position, and they only came away with that with a field goal, right?
Yeah.
So that I got the scoring kicked off, and then a couple drives later, Michigan drives down and actually puts it in, and Iowa followed up with a field goal shortly after, and we're in the fourth quarter, and going into the fourth quarter, Michigan had 192 yards of offense, which is shocking to me. Their passing game isn't there.
No. It hasn't been there all season.
No. And if I mean, Shea hasn't played badly today, but he hasn't played good either.
Yeah.
And that third string quarterback, dude, he's legit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand what Harbaugh's love for Patterson is, and trying to go to his strength, that spread offense. I haven't really seen them run a spread all year.
Well, I thought that Jamie brought up a good point last week, saying Michigan's season it's not, you can't say that it's over, but they're not going to compete for a playoff spot. Right. I mean, it's safe to say that. So why not move? Why not move on to one of these younger kids and
see what you got?
Get him going now. That way, when next season rolls around, he's got a few starts under his belt. So
yeah, I totally agree. And I have a feeling that if Iowa does come back to win this, then I think you're going to see a lot of those changes. But there's probably 3 minutes left to go, and I mean, if Michigan actually gets their shit together, and they could just kill this clock in 3 minutes.
And it's me being a Michigan fan, it's so sad, because when they were able to pull Shea with the transfer and bring him over, I really thought that he was what Michigan was lacking at the time, having a playmaking quarterback that is not only a playmaker but also one of those higher. He was a 5-star quarterback coming out. I mean, very, very highly touted high school kid coming out, and he hasn't been bad, but he just hasn't been great. It's just been, a lot of mediocre. I mean, that's pretty much the only word that sums him up. I mean,
and you would think that Jim Harbaugh, being who he is, what he's done, I mean, you would think he would get some of the top quarterback recruits. Because he was a quarterback, and at times a very good quarterback.
And you would think that he would get better out of them, because, when he first came to Michigan, he had a couple, quarterbacks that were not, all that talented. They were not the 5 stars. They were more like the 3 stars, but they played pretty damn good. And now he got his 5-star kid, and you thought, the sky's the limit with him, and it hasn't been.
As Michael Jordan would say, the ceiling is the roof. Yeah. Well, let's not sit here and just bag on Michigan. Like I said, we're bagging on them. They're fucking winning. So
yeah. Their defense has been great.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you were looking for a defensive ball game, you came to the right place, because this has been, hell, I think Michigan has like 7 or 8 sacks, which, if you would have asked me pregame, I would have told you it would have been the other way around, that Iowa would have 7 or 8 sacks. Kind of as porous as that offensive line has been, but the offensive line's held up for him. So if you're a Michigan fan looking to take away a positive, in my eyes, that's the positive to take away from it, because Iowa's defense isn't a slouch by any means. They're not 4-0 by accident. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Shea's been pressured, but has him compared to the kid from Iowa? No. Not, I mean, that Iowa quarterback is going to be in an ice bath for probably 4 days. Mm-hmm. Just getting the shit beat out.
Yeah, and I mean that says a lot about Michigan's defense improving, because going into today, that was what they were talking about with the kid from Iowa, was he hasn't turned the ball over, and Michigan's put
3 picks, I think.
Yeah, has put, and also the fumbled. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've been able to get pressure to him all day, so it makes a big difference.
Yeah. So like I said, there's just under 3 minutes to go. Michigan's got the ball, so if this ball actually gets in the air, I think Harbaugh's a moron, because they have been winning the battle up front. I mean, it's not like they're rushing for 200 yards today, but overall, I would say the big shining part of this offense, and I say the offensive line, they just tackle for loss. So let's move on. I did get a couple messages about the episode last week, and I just wanted to clarify something. The conversation that the four of us were having was more in regards to the school paying athletes. Whether it's from their jersey sales, the sponsorships, stuff like that. And I realized that, excuse me, our conversation was different than the bill that was passed. Mm-hmm. The bill that was passed doesn't say that they're going to allow schools to be paid, the athletes to be paid by the schools. They're going to allow them to go out and get an agent, book signing gigs, make money, signing autographs at an auto, or everyone keeps saying a car dealership and stuff like that. And is it going to be a big changing thing? No. Because between me, you, and the Wall 2Ks, and YouTube, and the podcast, so pretty much everybody, that shit happens all the time anyway.
Oh, yeah.
It happens all the time. So now, in my eyes, the thing that's going to change the most is, when are these agents going to come start to look at their clientele? Freshman year of high school? Mm-hmm. Even before?
Even before.
That's where it's going to get hairy.
Dicey, yeah.
That's where it's going to get hairy. So as far as the actual ruling, is it going to make a big difference? No. I think this is forcing the hand of the NCAA to pretty much either, because there is no way in hell they're going to segregate the whole state of California. Mm-mm. With all those colleges there. Now, mind you, if everything stays the way it is, and this, now mind you, 2K crew, this doesn't go into effect until 2023. So we got some time. It's not like it's going into effect next year. And the way, if everything stays pat the way it is, the schools in California would not be eligible for bowl play. They would not be eligible for the playoff. Now, if that brings up a whole other question when you're a recruit, is do you go to get paid or do you go to play? Which is kind of, that's not the pay to play bill is what it was called. I'm not trying to make a play on words there. But do you go to a school outside of California to get the bowl experience, to have have a chance to play for a national title, or do you go to a California school and get paid? And I know there's probably, if we were to poll 100 student athletes, there's probably 50 of them going to say they're going to go get paid. The other 50% are probably going to go to win titles. Yeah. So it's to each their own. We shall see what happens. And Michigan just went 3-and-out and punted. So Iowa has the ball, 146 left, and we'll see what they can do with it. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify that, because I know, because we had this discussion in place way before that Bill decided it was going to get processed. So just want to make some clarifications, because I know that there's some folks kind of confused and trying to tell me and the four of us that we're wrong, which we're not. We're having a different conversation. Mm-hmm. So anywho, 2Ks. It's baseball playoffs.
Yeah.
Baseball motherfucking playoffs. And started Tuesday We had the NL Wild Card Tuesday, the AL Wild Card Wednesday, and then some actual regular playoff games Thursday and last night. And last night had 3 games going, if not 4. So they are in full effect. So let's kind of give a recap. Like I said, Tuesday was the NL Wild Card.
Yes.
And what a game.
Yeah.
What a game.
Yeah, being a Tigers fan, I kind of gave up on baseball 3 months ago. So I haven't really been watching a whole lot of it. But Tuesday night, watching that game reminded me why baseball is my favorite sport.
Yes.
To watch, to follow, why it's just the greatest sport that there is. What a game. And
yes, it was a fantastic game. I mean, there's a lot of folks that are saying that, if that kid in right field doesn't make the error, then, that game's tied, or the Nats don't win it.
Yeah.
The Nats don't win it.
So you can say that about every game.
Yep.
There's errors in every game. There's, it's part of baseball.
Yep.
That's what makes it great.
Yep. And the one thing that I found extremely interesting, and probably the reason that I think you and I didn't pick the Nats to go so high, is they let Bryce walk.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't re-sign Bryce. To me that was a big part of their team. But maybe it was an addition by subtraction, because not only do the Nats clinch the division over Bryce and his Phillies, playing against Bryce and his Phillies, but Bryce's replacement in right field comes up with the game-winning knock. And yes, the right fielder charged it, took kind of a weird hop, bases clearing double, and what I thought was actually going to come back and bite him in the ass was Soto gets picked off rounding second. And granted, I know you're pumped up. You just put your team ahead, but with the state that your bullpen's in, are you sure a 1-run lead is going to be good enough? The Brew Crew, that's all they do is hit bombs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you're one walk and a bomb away from having to go out in the bottom of the ninth and try to get something together. But ultimately, came through. Kid's a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Bryce's replacement was able to give the Nats what Bryce couldn't all of those years.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid's making a tenth of what Bryce
is. And Soto's going to get paid someday. I mean, it's coming. Mm-hmm. You know how good of a player he is. And I'm not going to get caught up in the replacing or anything like that. I mean, Harper would be a nice addition to still have on that team right now, and put him in that lineup. And with the team that they have now, and Harper there, maybe they're not a wild card. Maybe maybe they win that division.
Yeah.
And so I can't really look at it that way. But yeah, it's kind of you see Harper get paid all the money, and then they just everybody was kind of just forgetting about Washington. I mean, I know I did.
Yep.
And
yep.
Kind of a pleasant surprise in the end.
And if you would have told me with Scherzer getting the ball to start, I'm sitting here in the back of my mind going, this game's done.
Oh yeah,
this game's done. There is no way, especially with the Brewers kind of. And I hate when teams do this. That whole kind of opener.
Yeah.
I cannot stand that. You pay your starters premium fucking money to do a premium job. Let them do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Brewers don't have they don't have like that number one.
Yeah.
So I can understand why they did it. And furthermore, they win that game. Their pitching staff is all set up.
Mm-hmm.
But Strasburg coming in and giving you three innings?
Yeah. I mean,
one hit, no runs, just carving folks up.
Yes. I mean, everybody wants to talk about Soto with the game-winning hit, but the reason why they won that game is because of Strasburg. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
If Strasburg doesn't come in and basically close the door for the rest of the game, because Scherzer just didn't have it.
Yeah.
And
you could just tell he was just too pumped up.
Yep.
They ran a stat the next day that said that his first inning, which is when the first 2 innings is when all of that damage kind of was had. he had his highest average velocity of any inning all year.
Yeah. Did you see him in the dugout like before the game where he just, I mean, you got to be able to relax a little bit. I'm all for, getting your head into the game and being pumped up for it. But as a pitcher, you have, especially a starting pitcher, you have to be able to relax.
Maybe he needed 2 dead chickens.
Yes, I mean, like he was
whatever
ready.
it is in Major League. Here you go, 2 whole chickens. But no, you're right. There's a fine line between getting pumped up and losing focus, and I think that's what happened. Yep. And we've got a huge play going on right here. 4th and 8, minute 20 to go. Iowa's out of timeouts. Michigan has 2. See where they're at on the field, because I mean, this is something. Oh, they're the 45 on their 45. So let's see what happens, because this is the game right here. If they don't make this, then first down. First down. Iowa's still alive. So we'll give you a quick game update with that, and let's move to Wednesday, because we had the AL wild card, and I think it's shame on both of us for not giving Tampa Bay any love at all.
No,
and I understand it's not just us; it's pretty much the whole baseball community. But you and I wrote them off probably 5 different times this year.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to not only win the wild card and then go into Oakland and do something that isn't really Tampa Bay-ish, which is hit bombs, and walk away with a big win. Yeah. A big, big win. It was Charlie Morton was unbelievable in that game. I mean, his curveball was nasty. And what's funny is that when you and I were talking last night, I was talking about the Starting 9 podcast, and Jared is he's a diehard Red Sox fan, but since the Sox are out of it, he became a Brewers fan. So they were recording their episode, the 9th inning of the Brewers-Nats game, and he was so fucking pissed. I mean, just irate. So then they do the next day, because they can't do the same thing because obviously Dallas Braden's a huge A's fan. They can't do it right. They can't do it the 9th inning of that game because Dallas is calling that game. So they knew it. They do it the next day, and Dallas. He's like, "Can I just go fucking home? Fuck all of this." So if you guys get a chance, it's actually very, very hilarious. But excuse me, I got something stuck in my throat today. But yeah, so go into Oakland. Oakland actually sells out, which is weird. They opened Davis Mountain, which is, for all of you that don't know, in center field they have a big part of stands that during the season it's just a big green tarp that's over it. So they took that. I want to say it was an extra 1,500 seats or something like that. And sold out. Yeah, which doesn't happen a lot in Oakland.
No, but I tell you what, when they are relevant, I mean, I go back to Tigers and Oakland in the playoffs here. I don't remember what year exactly it was, just not too long ago. They have some of the best sports fans. I mean, period. And Tampa did what they needed to do, and they jumped on them early and didn't allow those fans to take over that game because
holy shit, are you kidding me? All right, so Michigan has the Iowa quarterback sacked about 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Dude somehow throws it left-handed to his running back. The running back takes off, and I don't think he got the first down. But watch this shit. This is A, desperation, and B, how the hell did you even do it? But yeah, I'm pretty sure he came up short.
Looking at just back to the line of scrimmage, right?
I think so. No, it was a first down. No, Michigan's first down. So Michigan's going to walk away with a big win there. You know what? Thank God, because I don't know if I can stand any more Harbaugh hate. I'm not even a Michigan fan. I'm tired of hearing it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're tired of watching it as a Michigan fan.
I am.
But yeah, we can put that one in the books. That was one of those games that I figured was going to be extremely low scoring like this. But I figured I was always that team that can sneak in and get a win, something crazy like this. So, and for those of you that did have the points, Michigan covered, so everyone's happy. But yeah,
well, I mean, the big knock on Harbaugh now has been he can't beat ranked opponents or teams that are ranked better than they are, and God damn it, they did it today. So
yep, and they were actually ranked ahead of them.
Might have been ugly, but hey, win's a win.
Hey. Exactly. But yeah, so getting back to baseball, and then the next night we had, which I don't know why it is, but it seems like every time during this time of year when they have the early playoff game, it's the game I want to fucking watch, and I'm at work, and I always come in like the fourth inning, and because it's been the Braves the last Thursday and Friday, ironically enough. I come home and the Braves are leading 1-0 both days. So, but yeah, the baby Braves. There's a lot of people that are calling for them to upset the Dodgers to make it to the World Series, if not even win the World Series. So they're getting a lot of hype, a lot of buzz. And when because football is normally known as that game of inches. Maybe because it's on a metered line. Basically the whole field's a ruler, so it's kind of easy to make that. But if two balls hit by St. Louis were 6 inches the other way combined, the Braves walk away with that win. So, I mean, we're talking one of them both of them, one down the left field line, one down the right field line, and they're both off Mark Melancon, which I was never really sold on him as a closer anyway. I think I would much prefer Green in that role than Melancon.
I agree.
But, that's why we're sitting here and not getting paid millions of dollars.
There you go.
But, so the only game that really wasn't a tight game was the Yankee game last night.
Yeah.
And that was tight for a while. I mean, hell, even Minnesota was up 2-1 for a while. And Cruz hits a bomb, which is what he does. And then the Yankees start hitting bombs. Like they do.
What they do.
Which is what they do. So, especially in Yankee Stadium. I mean, but yeah, that one ended up being like, what, 10-4?
Yeah.
So, the playoffs have started. We've had some great games. And we've seen kind of a changing of the guard as well. I mean, you look at the Dodgers. They start Buehler game 1. How many times historically has it been Kershaw? Kershaw goes out last night, doesn't spin a beauty.
I mean, when Kershaw, that's been the knock on Kershaw's entire career. One of the best pitchers of our generation. You can already put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
I mean, that's how good of a pitcher he is. But man, he's never been a good postseason pitcher.
No, it kind of reminds me of some of the pitchers that the Braves had in the early '90s. I mean, Smoltzy's probably the only one that, out of that trio of him, Glavine, and Maddox, you got to go Smoltz. Big game like that. Yeah. And that's not taking, because all three of them are Hall of Famers.
Yes.
Kershaw will be a Hall of Famer as well. But it seems like whenever the lights were the biggest, it was the weirdest thing, because I remember growing up, I was a huge Braves fan. And the thing that both Maddox and Glavine were known for is their control. As soon as you get to a big game, they start walking people. And whether that was due to the non-expanding strike zone that they would do in the regular season, because there's a lot of people that say that, Tom Glavine never threw a strike in Major League Baseball, but to each their own. But no, I was kind of shocked to see them give the ball to Buehler game 1. He pitched amazing.
Yeah.
He pitched amazing. And I didn't get to catch a lot of that game. You and I were kind of watching some of the game last night, and the only one I didn't get to watch that I really wanted to watch was Verlander.
Yeah.
And speaking of spinning a beauty, was he 7 innings, no hits or no runs, like 3 hits?
Yeah, well, Verlander's so what I just said about Kershaw, where Kershaw is great in the regular season, but doesn't have in the postseason. Verlander's great in both.
Yes.
You know, when it comes down to a big game, if I'm playing in the final game, Game 7 of the World Series, and there's not a pitcher in the game that I'm putting out there over Verlander.
Nope. And yeah, so just when you think that's a great game, got Garrett Cole right behind him.
Yep.
And how easy is your job as the Houston Astros coach? Like, yeah, you know what? Really doesn't matter who's going to pitch Game 1. Doesn't matter who's going to pitch Game 2. Probably it's not going to matter who's going to pitch Game 3. And in a 5-game series, that's all you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
And not only just there's no pressure on the manager. There's no pressure on the lineup. The lineup can say, all right, we get to 3 runs, and chances are we're winning this game because
absolutely. Those
guys aren't going to give up more than that.
Yeah, and when your Game 2 starter strikes out 300 dudes in a year, I think you're sitting pretty. Sitting pretty. But yeah, so that's kind of the playoffs as they are right now in a nutshell. Great games all around. I mean, granted that the Yankee game kind of got out of control and turned that one off. But I was watching baseball over a great Thursday night game, which was shocking because most of the time the Thursday night games have been bullshit.
Yeah.
And we actually get a good one.
The last 2 we've had have been.
Yeah. And, this one came down to the wire, and, we're talking Rams Seahawks. And Legatron, he's been one of the most clutch kickers in the game. Misses a 44-yarder, so it's not like it was a 65-yarder or something like that. It was a chip shot. He started it right, and it never came, and it stayed right. And that ended up being what lost the game for him.
Yep.
And Russell Wilson's being Russ, doing his thing, and doing it with Tyler Lockett's the only receiver I can name of his.
Yes.
Chris Carson had a great game, but
that's the thing that impresses me so much with Russell Wilson is, and I'm one of those, and I'll be the first one to admit, talking about fantasy football, I kind of avoided Russell Wilson this year. Nothing against him and his game because I think he's one of the best there is. But I questioned his targets. Who did he have to throw to? I mean, yes, Tyler Lockett. After that, didn't really. I couldn't. I mean, I know they got the rookie there, Metcalf, who's having a little, here and there. You see he makes some plays, and the tight end Disley has kind of come out of nowhere and had some nice games. But those guys are having those games because of Russell Wilson. I mean, he's making those guys.
Yeah, and everything looks so calm and collected. Just another day at the office. Oh, watch this. I'm going to do a play fake, boot right, off my back foot, throw a 65-yard bomb in the air.
Yeah.
No big deal. And
he has to be so frustrating to try to defend for a defense because just when you think you have him and you have him bottled up, somehow he gets out of it.
He just squirts out.
And squirts down the sideline for 10, 11 yards and a first down. And it's got to be so frustrating.
Oh, I can only imagine. Well, let's kind of give a recap of where we are way too early baseball predictions, and to see kind of how we got it right, or how we got it wrong, where we went wrong.
I got a lot wrong.
I'm pretty sure I did too. I didn't have time to look mine up, but I'm pretty sure I can remember them. And let's start off with the MVPs. Who did you have?
I had Trout, and so I think that I'm going to get that one right, which I think probably 95% of America got that one right.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to say who I picked for the NL.
Come on.
No, I was just, I think when I made this pick, it was like maybe a matter of a couple days after Bryce gets his contract. And I was still pumped about Bryce getting his fucking money. So I was like, Bryce is he got fucking paid and I was going to win an MVP. And he did not win an MVP. No.
No, shockingly enough, I think it was only his second season hitting 30 home runs and 100 RBIs, which kind of shocks me. I also went Trout, but I went Cody Bellinger, which that's a race that's still up in the air.
Yes.
And I think our boy Alonso has a very
legitimate shot.
Yeah. And his Mets weren't as garbage as we all thought they were going to be. I still think that would have been an awesome series to watch them and the Dodgers, but it's unfortunate. Yeah,
Mets pitching.
I mean, Alonso, what does he do? He's definitely going to win the Rookie of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
He set the rookie record for home runs in a season with 53. He led all of baseball. And I want to say he still hit for, if not 300, a little, right around there.
Yeah.
So
I think it's safe to say that Alonso's going to compete for plenty of MVPs in his career.
Yeah. And I think with Yelich going out with the injury, how much does that hurt him? Because Bellinger kind of slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of came back to earth once that happened. So I think that's one. I mean, you're looking at a three-headed monster race there. But even with Trout being gone for, was it about a month? He's still like second or third in home runs.
Mm-hmm.
So, which out of nowhere, Jorge Soler. Who the? Okay. I'm pretty sure he ended up leading the American League in home runs.
Well, I think he hit about 25 of them against the Tigers this year. It seems like every time I was watching a Tigers-Royals game, Soler's, rounding the bases.
Hitting bombs.
Yeah.
And Kauffman Field isn't that notorious for bomb hitting. So, that's, of course, Soler's a giant anyway. So, but yeah, that's, where did you end up with, let's start with the AL East.
So I had the Yankees finishing second. I had them as one of my wild card teams, but I had Boston winning that.
I'm almost positive I followed suit with that.
And I had Tampa third, and then rounding it off with Toronto, Baltimore.
Yeah, and that's something. I mean, the Red Sox were kind of a disappointment to all of us, but big props to Tampa. Well, like in the lead-in, we counted them out a million times, and for them to not only make the playoffs but go into Oakland and win in advance, they're a tough team. They're a gritty team, and I'm pretty stoked to see what happens with them. What about the AL Central?
I had Cleveland winning that. I had Twins second. I had the Tigers third. White Sox 4, Kansas City 5.
That was wishful thinking.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I followed suit with that one as well. And yeah, we're a little bit off on that one.
Yes.
We're a little bit off on that one. How about the West?
West, I had Houston winning that.
That's not a shocker.
I had Seattle second, Angels 3, Oakland 4, Texas 5.
That one I can't remember. I know I had Houston winning it.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the order, I'm not really sure on that. But yeah, Houston's just so good.
Yeah.
So good, so consistent. I mean, it. Like you and I were talking last night, if you're Oakland, are you playing for second place in that division for the next 10 years? Let's say 5 years?
For the next 5 years, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you can't, especially with Oakland, they're not that they're not going to, start buying players or anything like that.
No, they're moneyballing it.
Yes.
And is Moneyball good? Is a wild card spot good enough? Just making it into the playoffs good enough?
For me personally, no. But for Oakland, I think that they're kind of all right with that. They've done it for how many years now?
Yeah, that's true.
They missed the playoffs, here and there, but then they come right back in and they get a wild card spot, or they end up getting a wild card spot and then they sneak in and they maybe they'll win a series or something like that. They're just one of those sneaky teams that seem to do that. But as far as being able to, dethrone Houston, no, it's not going to happen.
Not unless there's some major injuries that happen, and which I don't. You can never predict any of that, but on paper, no, there's no way they're winning that. Anyone in that division's winning and beating Houston in the next 5 years.
No.
I mean, that's, to me, it's if you're looking for any lock in sports, that's a lock. I mean, you could put your mortgage on that. But so let's switch to the NL. Who'd you have NL East?
NL East, I had the Phillies winning. I had the Mets 2, Braves 3, Washington 4, and Miami 5.
I think everyone had Miami 5 in that division. Thanks, Derek Jeter. But especially the Marlins. If you look at the talent that they traded away, they're right in the middle of that race. And I mean, if Fernandez doesn't tragically pass away, I mean, that kid was on top of his game.
Yeah.
so sad because the potential was there just to see what he would have become, how far he would, but we probably would have never seen it. He probably would have been a Yankee. So
that's very true.
Yeah. I mean, DJ would have traded him for Joe Girardi's old Yankee jacket that's in the closet. Speaking of Girardi, I saw that he was interviewing for the Cubs. I was kind of shocked at that.
Yeah, they were kind of talking about it, in the middle of the season when the Cubs were struggling there, and that, Girardi might be the next guy there, which, I don't know. I've always been a Girardi fan.
I respect his work. I hate him because he was a Yankee.
Yeah.
But with the win-loss record and in that atmosphere, managing those just personalities, those, I guarantee behind closed doors, Jeter and A-Rod weren't friends.
Oh no,
just those egos. That to me would be a harder job than actually putting the pieces out on the field.
And does A-Rod even have any friends?
J-Lo.
Yeah, that's the only one. She's the only person in the world I think that actually likes that guy.
Yeah. I think him and Frank Thomas like each other, which is shocking. Talk about two very different personalities, but so if you can win with that atmosphere, I think you can win anywhere. Mm-hmm. Anywhere else is going to be a fucking cakewalk compared to just the atmosphere in that locker room. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm almost positive I took the Red Sox to win that. Or no, we're on the NL East. I'm pretty sure I took the Braves. And probably the Phillies, with the Phillies taking a wild card. Pretty sure that's how I had that one. What about the Central?
Central, I went Milwaukee. Cubs 2, St. Louis 3, Pittsburgh 4, Cincinnati 5.
I'm almost positive I had that same exact one. And Pittsburgh just unreal. I mean, that, of course, the trading, one of the stupidest trades in the history of trades. And
it was a trade that just didn't make any sense.
No.
Why? Well,
no. And I know you and I kind of were drawing comparisons when the Mets traded to get Stroman. Mm-hmm. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But I don't think they had to give up quite as much as the Pirates had to give up to bring Archer in.
No.
And I wasn't. Archer had a couple good years. Then the last couple in Tampa was kind of And now I think with Archer there, they don't make the playoffs this year.
No, I would agree with that.
They don't. So, but yeah, it still has me scratching my head.
With Archer there, there's no way they're not making the playoffs without the two guys that they, acquired in that trade. There's no way.
Yeah. So if you're Tampa, it was a great trade because you're getting rid of a pitcher that's kind of on the decline and getting two pieces that you need to obviously go further. So worked out great for them. Now the only cool thing is they did have some cool Chris Archer shirts when I was in Pittsburgh, but yeah, I didn't buy any.
No,
I didn't buy any. So let's move on to the West.
West, I went Dodgers, San Diego, Colorado, San Francisco, and Arizona.
I'm pretty sure that's where I ended up too. I think we're all in agreement that the Dodgers are going to run away with that. Mm-hmm. I didn't expect them to have as great a season as they ended up having, but I still picked them to win that division hands down. Mm-hmm. Now, another thing you and I were chatting about last night, and if you're following us on Instagram, I posted a picture of Manny Machado, Joe Madden. And when it was announced that Brad Ausmus was fired, which fuck Brad, it was kind of like all right, they're firing Brad to bring in Joe Madden. It was kind of a foregone conclusion. I got to thinking, I'm like, man, Joe Madden would be badass in San Diego.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that's different between what he just did with the Cubs is the young arms that the Padres had, like you were saying last night. Everything else is eerily similar.
Mm-hmm.
Very eerily similar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Machado and Bryant, similarities. Rizzo and Hosmer, similarities. But you made a very good point. The main difference is the pitching staff.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a lot of up and coming pitchers, and look what Madden did when he was with Tampa.
Yes, exactly.
That would be scary.
Mm-hmm.
That would be scary. And you put Madden in there, and in 2 years, I think they overtake the Dodgers.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. And we haven't even talked about Tatis yet.
Mm. Oh, he's the best player on the team.
Yeah. So I think that is the missing piece that would put San Diego on the fast track to overtaking the Dodgers and becoming the best team in the National League. Which, for me, I don't think I've ever said that in my lifetime.
Mm.
You know, the Adrian Gonzalez Padres back then, they fucked around in the playoffs a little bit. They made some noise. Did they win anything? No. But Joe Madden out there in San Diego, that's a winner.
Yeah.
That's a winner.
Yeah.
I would put any amount of money on that team in the next 2 years to win a World Series.
And it would just be awesome to see. I think it's going to be hard for that to happen just because it just makes too much sense for him to go back to the Angels. Mm-hmm. And the Angels dumping Brad after one season, that just tells me that they're going to go they're going all in. I think everybody kind of had a pretty good idea that Madden was done in Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, they were already talking about it, month before the season, 2 months before the season was even over. Mm-hmm. So I think everybody kind of knew that he was on the way out, and I think the Angels looked at it as this is our opportunity to go get him. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Brad, you're kind of just that guy that was filling that bridge.
I think if you let Trout coach that team, it's a better team than with Brad.
Oh yeah,
and the reason I say fuck Brad is you've had the honor and privilege of coaching the two best right-handed hitters of our generation. Quite possibly could go down as two of the best right-handed hitters ever. Mm-hmm. And you trash the fucking team. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, when the Tigers were well constructed and were making the playoffs, a whole different monster than what he's dealing with in LA.
Yeah. I mean, his job in Detroit was an absolute failure. Like that was just horrible. Yeah. Now, after one season with the Angels, yes, I get it. They got Mike Trout. He's the best player, maybe the best player to ever play the game. Mm-hmm. But they're not a good team. No. They are not a good baseball team.
No, and probably they're Brett. And the one thing I will say for Brett is you can't change a culture in a year. I'm sorry. And then the year that you're there, your best pitcher / hitter can only hit. Mm-hmm. It hits well, but can't. So the plan that was put in place isn't in place. So you have to make Plan B. And I mean, you got Simmons at short. We said Pujols, Trout, Calhoun. Which Calhoun's one of those dudes that his jersey's never clean. And I love it. I love it. All he does is, I mean, him and Nick Markakis are like those lunch pail dudes. They're if they don't get a knock every game, they're going to have 4 great at bats to make the pitcher work. Which a lot of times in this stupid pitch count era, that's sometimes better than a hit. When you get a 9, 10, 12 pitch at bat. That's sometimes better than a hit. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, they're blue collar kind of guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. But after that, and of course Ohtani, I don't think I can name another Angel player. Mm-hmm. And then you have the kid pass away.
Oh yeah, and with Ohtani being out, that's their best pitcher.
Yeah. So, did Brad get a fair shake? No. But do I think that he's probably lost with the best talent out of any coach I've ever seen. So that's why I say fuck Brad.
Yep.
That's why I say fuck Brad. So out of all that, we covered all the divisions, right?
Yep.
And who was your World Series pick?
Dodgers. I had the Dodgers over the Yankees.
Okay, so you still got both your teams alive. I went Dodgers Astros, and now you go check the film. It's before the Greinke trade, which, to be honest with you, I think they could win this whole thing easily without Greinke. Yeah. This is just making it unfair.
I mean, to be honest with you, before the season even started, I think you could kind of pencil in what Verlander was going to do. Mm-hmm. Maybe not pitch for another Cy Young, but you knew he was going to have a very good year. Yeah. But what Garrett Cole did this year, when I was making these predictions, I was not expecting Garrett Cole to pitch the way he has.
Garrett Cole has always been a steady number one. Mm-hmm. This year, he's went from steady number one to stellar, and probably the best timing of his life because he's going to get fucking paid. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned last night, I said, you know what? Just the type of person he is, I think, and you know what? I'm predicting it right now. I'm putting it out there. He takes a pay cut and stays with Houston.
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me at all.
I especially playing in Pittsburgh, where even then Pittsburgh was contending. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was the McCutcheon era as well. So they were contending, but I think I think he's going to like winning, and having JV right next to him, they could be the best 1-2 punch for a few years. And like I said, there's just something inside me that says he's staying. And because there's no way Houston can pay what any other club could or would. Mm-hmm. When he hits, will he test free agency? Sure, yeah. Sure. But I think it'll come down to he's just setting a price, and I think he'll end up back in Houston. That's my hope. I hope he doesn't go to the fucking Yankees. Everyone's like, "Oh, terrible! You want him in Boston?" Yeah, but they can't even keep. They're talking about trading Mookie Betts because they can't keep him.
Yeah.
And do I think that Cole's going to get paid as much as Mookie? No. But that's another big contract that for whatever reason they're trying to stay away from. So, but yeah, I have a feeling I've been poking around the internet, and what kind of shocked me was there's a lot of people picking the Braves. A lot. And does it shock me? No. Because the Braves won last night, so they're tied 1-1, and they haven't even started your boy. What's his name? The rookie pitcher.
Oh,
I know I'm putting
Soroka.
Yeah, I haven't even seen him yet. Mm-hmm. Fulton Weiss went last night.
Yeah, he pitched great.
Yes, he did. He did. And Keuchel got the ball in game one. Mm-hmm. Didn't look bad.
No.
I mean, it was the bullpen that lost the game for him, not the starter. Yeah. And they showed some stats of what Keuchel did after he joined the Braves. I didn't think he pitched that well, but he did. Mm-hmm. So, Dallas, I'm sorry. I know you're a big listener. My bad, dog. My bad. You didn't have to put it out on TV. You could have texted me. Be like, yo, check my numbers, Turb. Don't be hating. So, yeah. So then, what's kind of irritating is I really want to get up and change it to the Notre Dame game, but we play hurt. We're going to play strong. Last I saw it was 0-0, and what irritates me about this game, 2Ks, is where it's a game where I thought I saw the little percentage, like win percentage. We're 99% to win. Mm-hmm. With a 45.5 spread. Which to me, as a Notre Dame fan, that only means one thing. Notre Dame is going to win by less than 10. It always fucking happens. Always. All right, so let's get on to the game that's sweeping the motherfucking nation. Some fucking paycheck and onions.
Last week was not a good week.
No, and I got one game right last week.
Same.
One game right.
Same here.
No, two. Sorry, I got two. I had one going into the recording last week, and then I ended up getting another one. But how many points you sitting at? What did you say, 16?
Yep, 16.
All right, you're kicking my ass. I'm at 11. So obviously I get to go first. Why? Because I said so. My first pick'em game, I'm going with the Giants at the Pats. And let's see if TB12's kryptonite is Eli or the Giants. And no, I'm not taking Danny Dimes.
I was going to say, you better not be.
No. Now, last week, when I took the Bills over the Pats, that was a closer game than what I thought.
Hey, that Bills defense is for real.
And what did we say when I took that pick? The reason I'm picking that is because Josh Allen doesn't give the ball away. And what did he do?
He gave
the ball away. They lost 13-10, and one of them was a fucking pick six.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was a pick in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't throw those two. The Bills win by 14.
Yep.
So your boy wasn't too far off on that.
You're close.
But there's no too close. There's no close in paycheck and onions. It's either right or fucking wrong. So, but no, I'm taking the Pats. I can't. Nope. Secretly, do I want Danny Dimes to drop dimes on that defense, and for them to walk away with a win in New England? Yes, I want it to happen. Will it? No. What's your first pick 'em?
My first one, I'm going Big Ten football. Been very, very impressed this year with Wisconsin. And
Wisconsin rolled again today.
Have not been very impressed with Michigan State. I think Michigan State's going to get destroyed tonight by Ohio State. And
I think that was one of my picks from last week.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my paycheck game from last week. Yep.
And this week, or next week, I'm saying Wisconsin rolls easy over Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State's that's a gauntlet of a schedule.
Yeah.
Ohio State, then Wisconsin. And then I think a bye week. So Sparty's going to be sore. My next game, I am also going into the Big Ten. I'm looking at Penn State at Iowa. I picked this before the Iowa-Mich game went final. But I'm going Penn State.
Good pick.
Penn State goes into Iowa and walks away with the win. I'll be 100% honest. It was the most Iowa football I watched. And I'm going to, honestly, I normally don't do this as a Notre Dame fan. I'm going to give it, the defense of Michigan came together and made that offense of Iowa look bad. I don't think normally Iowa's, just judging from the scores and the box scores, look that bad.
Mm-hmm.
So big ups to the Michigan defense on that one. Who's your second one?
Second one, staying in college, going SEC. Picking LSU over Florida. LSU they've been really impressive to me. Not only that, I think you can always kind of count on their defense being very, very good, but they have a quarterback this year.
First time in LSU history, 3 consecutive 300-yard games, and Bo has vaulted into the Heisman talk, and well deserved. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was listening to one of the podcasts I listened to is College Football Live, which it's the perfect length. It's either 22 or 25 minutes, and it takes me between 22 and 25 minutes to get from my house to work. So it works out perfect. I think they upload 3 or 4 times a week, and it's the ESPN. Yeah. So you're getting Herb Street, all those guys, and they said that they found it kind of shocking that the LSU quarterback, Bo, has jumped in leaps and bounds over our boy Trevor Lawrence, who we thought was just going to run away with it, and hasn't been running away with anything.
Almost got beat last week. Yeah. Probably should have gotten beat last week.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame the coach for going for 2. Yeah. I don't. You got the number 1 team in the nation on the ropes. You have in your control the chance to win. Do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Do it. Because you know what? No one thought you were going to show up. Do it. Stick it right in their ass. And just take it. Because if you kick the extra point, then you go into overtime.
Yeah. And
who knows what's going to happen in overtime? Clemson's way too talented offensively and defensively. I don't take a chance at that. Give me Even if you fail, who cares?
Yep.
Who cares?
What do you have to lose?
Nothing.
I mean, what do you have to lose?
Nothing.
Yep.
Because most people would have never even thought you're going to be within 1 point or a 2-point conversion away from winning it. So, yeah, fuck it. Who cares?
Yep.
Who cares? My third pick'em, I'm staying in college. The Red River Rivalry. And yes, I said that slow because I can't say it fast. Oklahoma is traveling to Texas. And going to be a big shocker here. I'm taking Oklahoma. And I'm taking Oklahoma big. Texas is banged up. Texas is going to give them probably the best defense they've seen so far, but it's Big 12, so probably not a lot.
Defense. No.
Probably not a lot. If you're a better, take a look at the over-under. Probably bet the over. And, yeah, there's Jalen Hurts is going to – he looks so good.
Yeah.
He looks so good. But like we said before, passing against the SEC is a whole lot different than passing against the Big 12.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with it. Has he learned a lot? Has Lincoln Riley done his thing? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Will Lincoln Riley stay in college for much longer? No. He'll be in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be in the NFL. But what's your number 3 pick there? 2Ks.
Number 3 pick. I'm going to the NFL. I know my Cowboys really struggled last Sunday night against the Saints. That Saints defense is for real. But I picked them for this coming week for tomorrow's game. I pick them to beat the Packers, and I'm picking them to stay on the winning train and take out the Jets.
Well, that's a stretch.
Yeah,
that's a stretch. Maybe Sam Darnold will be back from his mono stint.
I think he is supposed to be back.
So he was cleared for non-contact, but I just saw this morning he's not playing this week. So. Hopefully he's back. I like that kid. I really do. Do I think that he's going to bring the Jets a Super Bowl?
No.
Not this year, obviously. But it's a step in the right direction if you're a Jets fan. He's not a guy that's going to lose you games.
Yep. Okay,
now we're looking better. 14-0 Notre Dame with 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. That's a little better. That's a little better. And to kind of comment on your Saints comment there, I'll be the first to admit when Drew Brees went down, I'm like, because if you look back, the Saints were my Super Bowl pick. Drew was my MVP. I'm like, well, fuck, both those are gone. Teddy's doing it.
Yeah,
he's doing just enough. That defense, where the fuck did that come from? That's been the knock on these Saints teams for how many years is kind of going back to Peyton Manning. Always offense. We'll play just enough offense for our defense not to lose it. That's what the Sean Payton era has been. Yeah. Not this year. Those boys, Cameron Jordan. Yeah, woo, he's a stud. Every time I see Cameron Jordan, I want to. It reminds me that the same year Cameron Jordan was drafted, there's a tight end named Jordan Cameron. Whatever happened to that guy? Like fantasy wise, he was a stud for a couple years and then died. Yeah, I don't know. He was hurt all the time, so I got to say that some injuries probably. And then Cameron Jordan didn't really come on until lately, so it's like, are they the same person? I don't know. Probably not. One's white, one's black, but it's like it's kind of like you never see the same two people in the same room. And all right, you're fucking with me. You're just flipping the names. You're fucking with no. You sure? Okay. Yeah, because I remember in one of my fantasy drafts, someone tried to draft Cameron Jordan. And we all were like, really? He's like, yep, best tight end in the league. No, he's not, bro. He's a D end. He's a D end. Oh. Oh.
I'd like to know who was saying that, even if they're talking about Jordan Cameron, who was saying that Jordan Cameron was better than Rob Gronkowski back then as the best tight end in the league. And at that time, Jimmy Graham was doing his thing with the Saints. So
you want to know? And Antonio Gates. Yeah. I mean, how far do you want to go? His name was Easy $50. Is what it was. Easy $50. So those are the type of guys you want in your fantasy league. Make fun of them all you want, but you know what? Keep a straight face until you get that cool cash in your pocket, and then talk shit. Then talk shit. So, Mr. 2Ks, what is your paycheck game?
Paycheck game, I'm going Ravens over the Bengals. The Bengals are awful, terrible. I feel terrible for Joe Mixon because I do think that he's one of the better 3-down backs in the NFL, and they're not even giving him a shot. I mean, they're chasing every game. So
I think, and now mind you, that Cincinnati team's hot garbage, but they've been without AJ Green all year. Boyd stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's had a solid year so far. Andy Dalton is not the reason they're losing games.
No.
Is he balling out? No.
No, he never has. He's fucking trash.
No. Now, you ask me as a Bears fan, would you rather have Andy Dalton or Trubisky?
Oy.
That
is such a shitty decision. Like, I don't even neither. I would rather have neither.
It's like trying to decide between a turd sandwich and a shit sandwich.
Yeah, like that's horrible.
And so yeah, that's a dumpster fire is probably the best. The only other team that's probably even more garbage is the Redskins right now.
Well, Dolphins. That's what I was looking at before we went on.
Yeah.
The Dolphins and the Bengals play against each other in Week 16, and there's a legit shot that both of those teams might be winless going into that matchup.
Now, what would really be funny if they tied? So now you have two 15 and 1 teams. That'd be the first time that would ever happen. And speaking of Jim Rome, I remember years ago before the Lions went 0-16. You know how the Dolphins, pop champagne after the last undefeated team every year. Rome's big thing in life was he wanted to see a team go defeated.
Mm-hmm.
And when a team didn't scratched out a win, he was so pissed off. You ruined my hopes and dreams for this defeated team. Blah, 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 blah. So when the Lions did it, he was glorious. He was the biggest Lions fan that year for them to lose. And then when the Browns did it, he was even more pumped up. He's like, twice in my fucking lifetime? Really? 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 So, yeah, I haven't listened to Rome in a while. But I guarantee with the shoddy play that's going around, he's probably stoked.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably stoked. Now, my paycheck game, which kind of like to your point with the Dolphins Bengals Week 17, maybe that's the Tua Bowl for the number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
And my paycheck game's going to be, it's a paycheck game. However, it scares me because I'm looking at the Bama A&M game. This has a Nick Saban step on your dick moment written all over it. Seems like every year there's that game. Now, I know Johnny Manziel's not there. I know that. But it has the aroma of upset.
Hmm.
It just has that. I'm not taking the upset though. No, I'm not going to take an upset like that on my paycheck game. Unreal. But no, for real, it does have that hiccup.
Mm-hmm.
It does have, like with Clemson last week. Could this be Bama's hiccup?
Mm-hmm.
I think it wouldn't shock me.
No,
but if I'm betting with my paycheck, I'm going Bama.
Yeah.
So what's your onions pick? Put your dick in my hand.
I wanted to go. Well, before we get to that, I wanted to go back to my paycheck. Before I made my paycheck decision, I wanted to go with putting my paycheck on my fantasy football team, who is the only undefeated team left in the league. But I thought, I probably shouldn't do that. Don't want to upset people. But anyways,
or you didn't want to look like a douche in front of everybody else.
Hey, only undefeated team in the league. That's all I gotta say. Only undefeated team in the league.
It's because you haven't played Frank yet.
But anyways, getting on to the onions.
Moving right along.
I watched pretty much from start to finish that entire Lions and Chiefs game last week.
That was a good game.
Yes, and I was very impressed with the Lions. I was very impressed with their defense, and to be able to,
shut out Mahomes.
Yes. And so I'm picking them, and I'm taking them over the Packers. And it's at Lambeau, and I'm saying that they go to Green Bay, and they beat the Packers.
Yeah, I watched the vast majority of that game and was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
I figured, like probably 99% of other people, that Patty Mahomes was going to roll into Ford Field and just drop 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Because that's what he does every day. But
big ups to Patricia. I mean, he had that defense. The game plan was right.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so good that a lot of the analysts on Monday and Tuesday were like, did the Lions give the framework or the blueprint on how to beat Patrick Mahomes?
Mm-hmm.
The answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
No. But big up, huge respect. And probably the first time in a long time on Facebook, I saw all my Lions friends be like, it was a loss, but we played good.
Yeah. Not
one single bitch about the referees, which usually that's
how they lead off.
Yeah, which to be honest with you, they've been fucked a lot.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't a traditional Lions loss. Like, they figured out a different way to lose.
Mm-hmm.
They just got a little bit outplayed, and which is nothing wrong with that.
They just gave the ball. They basically gave the ball back to the Chiefs with too much time on the clock.
Yep. And that's probably the best game period Detroit's played all year.
Oh yeah.
From start to finish. Did they win? No. Was it a great game? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And Auburn is down 3-7 at Florida. Speaking of that, they had that's where game day was. Big shocker. I forgot that Emmitt Smith was a Gator.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot that. Your boy Taylor went for 186, 4 touchdowns, 3 receptions, and another touchdown. Best back in America right there.
Yep.
He's putting up yards like that, and he's not even in the top 10 odds to win the Heisman.
Yeah, that's...
And doing it in the Big Ten, which is known for stout defense, probably right behind... I'd say overall, probably the defenses in the Big Ten from top to bottom, probably better than the SEC.
Yeah.
The SEC just it's very, very top heavy, but then there's a lot of garbage teams. So... But if the Big Ten's not 1 or 2, right behind the SEC, and for him to carve up, now last week was almost a stumble, but for him just to carve up teams like that just blows me away, and not be considered in the top 10 for Heisman. Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah,
get the fuck out of here! I'm not sure what you're watching. So we got our picks out of the way. God damn it! We're 1 hour 7. That went by fast.
Mm-hmm.
That went by fast. All right. Well, 2K crew, we love you to death. And yeah, I think the videos are going over really well. We're having maybe between 20 and 30 people watch them. So view times are great.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the big things that they say with a YouTube channel is it's not how many views, but how your view time. And we're averaging like 35 minutes, 40 minutes to a view. So kudos. People like seeing our ugly faces.
I guess.
Right? Whatever trips your trigger. Whatever trips your trigger. And I'm still working on the highlight show. I haven't forgot about it. I think I might need to break down and buy Premiere Pro so it'll work out. But I'm trying not to do that because it's $250. But we'll keep trying. We'll keep busting our ass. That's what we do. We even play hurt. But 2K crew, have a great week. Subscribe, like, comment on the video. And yes, my asshole neighbor has been mowing the whole fucking show. It sounds like he's mowing right out my front door.
Yeah, I think he's mowing your lawn now.
Hey, more power to him. More power to him. Mine looks worse than his. So we'll get out of here on that. And as always, Jim Rome, we're coming for you.